To the U.S. military's newest strikes on suspected drug boats. This time, 2 vessels were struck on the Pacific side of Latin America. The Secretary of Defense shared videos of the fatal strikes on social media. He promised these strikes will continue, quote, day after day. He said the people who were killed were, quote, narco-terrorists who bring death and destruction to U.S. cities. I want to bring in CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata to talk about this. So, Charlie, just bring us up to speed. What is the latest on these strikes?
Yeah, so the latest strike we heard about last night from, as you said, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth saying it's been another one, yet another one is what he said, and we can expect more. In fact, we'll be looking out for that. We're still in touch from outside the Pentagon to try to get in touch with the people inside the Pentagon to track what's going on there. So as we understand it, there was both of these, they say, the strikes took place in international waters. The second one was a little bit closer to the Colombian coast. And we spoke to a former DEA Drug Enforcement Agency official yesterday who said really that is more of the superhighway of the drugs that would be headed to the United States. You and I have spoken about the 7 strikes that happened in the Caribbean Sea off the coast of Venezuela. That is traditionally a run for drugs, cocaine, not so much fentanyl, that are headed toward like Trinidad and Tobago to Europe. When it comes to the United States, this is the drug run from Colombia. As it was explained to us, these fast boats would probably reach land in places like Honduras and then go overland to the United States, actually from legal crossings, places like Nogales. That is where the bulk of cocaine comes into the United States. So the idea that the operation has been expanded, it sort of includes that. And I kind of want to break it down a little bit there, too, because the place that we're talking about is SOUTHCOM, Southern Command, and it's called the Area of Responsibility is what the military calls it. So what we're seeing in the Pacific, it might feel like this huge stretch here, but it still comes under that same command. So the operation that we're seeing in the Caribbean, around Venezuela, this is adjacent to that. So this isn't like a second thing that's going on. This is part of the same operation.
Wow. All right. So the president has defended his actions at sea as being in the interest of national security. He also addressed the possibility of attacks on land in Venezuela. Break that down for us. Would he need to seek congressional approval for something like this?
So, Vlad, you know, it's worth pointing out that he has repeated these threats. He's repeated them. He talked about Venezuela. He's talked about Colombia. He's kind of saying wherever these drug dealers, or excuse me, suspected drug smugglers, et cetera, wherever this trafficking is coming from. So yesterday, I'll read from the statement that he said. He said, we'll probably go back to Congress and explain exactly what we're doing before launching land strikes. But he insisted, as he continues to insist, that he does not need permission from Congress to do that. He says, we're going to hit them hard when they come in by land. They haven't experienced that yet, but we're totally prepared to do that. So, you know, these are sort of warning shots, but it would be expected. And, you know, folks that we spoke to said they prepare for any eventuality. So we're saying, are you preparing for land strikes? And that's the answer. It's sort of the stock answer you get from the Pentagon. So there are plans in place giving the president options to do that. And as the DEA official said to me yesterday, look, this isn't going to make an impact. Taking out a few boats and blowing up a few boats, it won't even act as a deterrent. And some of the people that are on those boats are fishermen who are either getting paid off or they might be coerced into taking those boats over. But it's going to take a land strike to take out significant infrastructure from these drug dealers.
Wow. All right. Charlie D'Agata reporting from Washington for us. Charlie, thank you, my friend.
Thank you.